when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, and welcome to another episode of the Sports Report. I know you're not used to seeing my face first, but I had to do this introduction tonight. First, I'm going to bring in the one, the only, Dan the Dick Warner, ladies and gentlemen. Where's my mouse?
Thank you, sir. That was a great introduction.
You know,
I wasn't expecting to come in first either, but I can see that
we got to do it. We got to do it special tonight, man. Because
right.
This next person I'm
Feature
bringing
the talent first. No, okay, gotcha.
This next person I'm bringing in, he is the godfather of the Sports Report. He is the man that brought me into this podcasting world. If it weren't for this man, we wouldn't be here right now. And today is his 52nd birthday, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he is an old man. He is the one, the only, if you will, baby, William H.D. Morgan.
I thank you for that, but I need to correct one thing, my friend.
What's that?
I am not old. I am timeless.
Seasoned. He's seasoned.
Timeless,
Vintage.
baby. Timeless, baby. Timeless.
Those some nice new headphones you got on there, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been waiting to get these, and I finally got my crack of getting them, and I'm loving them so far.
I know you don't drink, so me and Dan will do it for you. Cheers.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to hop right into it. We might have some special guests popping in here throughout the show, but we're going to jump right into this. It has been a crazy NBA free agency, and some people are getting paid way too much goddamn money. Oh, and happy Bobby Bonilla Day. I know it was yesterday, 2 days ago, but still.
Stealing money.
Man, that dude is a fucking
Stealing money.
greatest robber of the 21st century right
From
there.
two teams.
From two teams. He just made $1 million 2 days ago, and he's still set to get paid another $13 million.
I believe Scott Boras was the architect of all of that. That was early Scott Boras agent days.
Well, does that make you, as a Mets fan, does that make you mad that you're paying a guy who literally hasn't played a game of baseball since the 2000s?
Pisses me the hell off.
Already paid him $15 million. You still owe him another $13 million.
Mm-hmm.
And after the money y'all spent this last season or this last off season, and you still suck.
Pisses me off. It pisses me off.
They spent all that money. They spent all that money and didn't spend it on Jacob deGrom, who still hasn't played. But at the same time, like that probably would have been a good guy to bring back. I mean, you got two aging starters. But
you know, saw a report the other day that we're in talks. The Astros are in talks with the Mets about trading back for Verlander. And I'm like,
wow,
no, don't do that.
Unless you can get the right deal. Unless New
York
wants to just sell.
Crazy deal. It would have to be a crazy deal.
Couple of prospects for a guy who's proven in the playoffs where Houston's going to go. I mean, that's all the Mets are going to want out of it, probably.
Yep.
I mean, Mauricio Dubon, possibly.
I heard that the Astros' entire outfield is up for grabs.
Damn.
Outside of Jordan.
Of course. One of our only
Kyle Tucker?
All-Stars. Yeah, I've heard Tuck is possible. Well, he's a free agent after this year too. So
he would look good in pinstripes.
Fuck you. No one looks good in pinstripes.
He would look good in pinstripes.
No one looks good in pinstripes.
He already doesn't grow facial hair, so he's fine.
It doesn't work for that team. No one on the only baseball team you'll see that everybody's clean shaven.
It's because it's team rule.
Is
you
that
can
a
have,
team rule?
Yes, you can have a mustache or mutton chops, but you can't have any goatee or.
Why?
Basically, it was George Steinbrenner's thing. He was a fucking weirdo who still believed in that like old school business, be clean shaven type shit. They need to honestly get rid of it. I've been on that train for a while because I think it literally it keeps some dudes from going there. Not even a joke. Like it's either like the nostalgia of New York free agents want to go there, but at the same time, like the fucking facial hair thing is actually a big deal to these guys, I think, because it's stupid. It's so stupid.
It's one of those, not to get off subject, but that's one of those rules that I just like, where I was just at in Abilene, there's a hospital up there. You cannot work for this hospital and smoke, Dan, cigarettes. And not just like on property. When you go in for an interview, they swab your mouth. And if you smoke for the last 6 months, they will not do the interview.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I can see that. It's
I don't understand how that's even legal. How you can tell someone out, like I understand drugs and weed and things like that, like that are illegal, but I don't understand how you can say, even when you're not on the clock or working here, you can't have a cigarette.
See, I think they probably just do that immediate test thing, and then I doubt it happens again. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so
yeah,
they probably can, but it's like very frowned. Like they probably can, but it's like a frowned upon type of thing. It shouldn't even be. I mean, it's weird. It's just super strange.
It's just one of those things. Going back to the facial hair thing, I think sometimes employers way overreach on the things that they ask from their employees.
Well, hell, they did the same thing with Cam Newton when he was coming into the league.
Yeah, I remember that. Told him he couldn't have his dreads. Wasn't it?
Yep. Did the same thing.
Ridiculous.
Which I don't understand because you've got linemen and wide receivers and D-Hop out there with their dreads all hanging out. Like,
well, it's part of the reason why, like, I mean, the NBA tried to do that. David Stern tried to do that in the early 2000s with Iverson and those guys because he didn't want to like promote the gang culture or whatever the fuck. And like they dropped that shit pretty fucking quick because they were like,
suits. Oh my god.
Adam Silver was like, "You're an idiot. Let them be who they want to be because that's who like they're basketball players. They play a game."
I mean, if we're talking about stuff like NBA, I just read an article how guys smoke right before a game.
Yeah, weed
right before a game. Yeah,
J.R. Smith was stoned. J.R. Smith was stoned for every single basketball game in the NBA.
He's over Vernon Maxwell.
Well, and Dan, we've discussed it on y'all's on our No Longer Around show After Dark on how much weed can help recovery. CBD is proven to help muscle recovery, and when you're in an activity like that, it can help you not wear down as fast if you're using it right.
Yeah, it can definitely help for recovery. I would say like after the game, I don't exactly know how it can help during the game unless you're just so used to being stoned like J.R. Smith was.
Well,
it was like being normal for him.
Well, yeah, what I've seen is from some athletes who use it during workouts, and I've worked out smoked before.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I heard is what we used to call a runner's high is actually you have a everybody has a built-in cannabinoid system in their body.
Right.
And what we used to call runner's high is actually you activating that cannabinoid system. And if you smoke before and then work out, then your cannabinoids already activated and it makes the workout better. You can work out harder, things like that.
Right. Boost serotonin levels, just like
levels.
If you ever, I mean, people who work out like regularly and get a good workout, like afterwards, you don't give a fuck about anything. If you notice, like it's your anxiety's down, depression's usually down because workouts and getting your blood flowing increases serotonin levels and makes you feel better. And like if that's coupled on top of fucking weed, I mean, I just don't, because my reaction time is definitely slowed. And I can somehow, like obviously you can get into it like where you're daydreaming and shit. I don't exactly know how that fucking works in a basketball game because you have to be like very quick reactionary and stuff. Like, I just don't see how smoking before could probably help you, but afterwards for sure. And I'm not against anybody smoking weed obviously during the fucking game because if you think it makes you play better, then whatever. But
I just got one thing to say, and this is off the subject of what you guys have brought up. I just want to let both of y'all know that tonight I beat both of y'all here.
I know. I just saw that message in the chat.
You what?
Will was actually first tonight. He was the first one here. That never happens. Once in a blue moon on his birthday. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Once a blue moon on his birthday. Never happen again.
52 years old, finally decides to get his shit together.
Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this NBA free agency. I got some NBA music.
That's the.
I know that song.
It sounds like NBA Jam.
Is it NBA Jam?
No.
All right.
Maybe the old Sports Center music is what it sounds like.
Which we got to talk. We got to talk about some ESPN tonight.
That was NBA on TNT. But
there you go. Yeah.
But I did want to get into some of these. We're not gonna go over everything because everyone is not relevant. But what's up, Brandon? How you doing, brother? We're gonna get into the main signings that I want to talk about because not everybody is relevant. The first thing I want to talk about is Dame Lillard. He made that big bomb that he wants to get traded from Portland, and from what I'm understanding, Portland's not inclined to trade him necessarily to where he wants to go. What do you guys think about that? Do you feel that the superstar should be catered to go where he wants to, or do you look after your own needs and trade said player to the best spot for the team?
My thing is, I think in this case, he should get to go where he wants to go because this is Portland's fault. This is Portland's fault. This isn't Dame's fault. They said when the season ended just a few weeks ago that they were committed to building a championship team around him right now. They did nothing to do that. They didn't get anybody big in free agency. They had an okay draft.
They drafted basically a guy who kind of plays the same position as Dame Lillard does.
Yeah.
For one, Scoot Henderson plays basically the same position. And
he's going to take. So mad. I wanted him.
He's going to take shots. I mean, it's literally. It looks like they're starting to rebuild. And I'm in here with Brandon on. You have to look at what you're getting back. Exactly. You have to look at what you're getting back for Damian Lillard, and just don't hurry. Just don't rush it. But like the thing is, like you can't just do a whole pull of Brooklyn and be like, hey, everybody, shut the fuck up. You're playing for us. Because we've seen how that works out. We saw how it worked out for Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. Saw how it worked out for Houston and Harden. Harden sat.
I don't think that Dame is capable of not playing 100%, honestly, because he's too competitive. So you might be able to, if you're Portland, and this is kind of a cheese ball, it's kind of a dirtbag thing to do. But like you might just go, hey, Dame, sorry, you're gonna be here and pull Brooklyn. And I just don't think that I think he'd be pissed off, maybe have a chip on his shoulder, but that's a good thing for you if you're Portland. Like, have him hate you if you're ownership. Yeah, well, you would think, but what's proper compensation that they're actually going to get? I mean, you better either roll if you're going full rebuild, you better roll out the fucking first round picks, or I mean, that's basically you better roll out the first round picks, and you better have some kind of capital that is already established. And I don't even know, like, there's that many teams who have that kind of capital at this point that Dame would even want to go to. So it's just a weird situation. I don't know how. I mean, he looked good in purple and gold, but they don't have anything to give. Nope. I mean, they do that they just traded for, but why would you you'd have to give up Cam Reddish. There's no draft picks. Thank you. There's no draft picks that they have left. So I mean, I just don't know where he thinks he's going to go. That's going to be significantly better than Portland.
I just think.
I think he's wanting what you just saying, Dick. Oh, you smoke Eagles, Dick. Oh, I fucking hate
and I don't understand what the hell they doing because you just gave. And I'm not trying to say don't get your money. I'm not trying to hate. I ain't trying to count his pocket. But I don't understand why you gave Jeremy Grant all that money.
I'll be right back.
Okay, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot. Jeremy Grant seemed like for a while there, he had a little bit of an uptick this last season. I mean, before that, he was averaging 21, 22 a game at some point this year. But
he grew into it because he started, with Denver. Then he did his thing. Then he did his thing in Detroit. So he and I'm glad to see the brother come up and really do his thing. But I'm not paying him all that money.
Yeah, and that was when Jeremy Grant was kind of going crazy there. It was also during that very beginning of the year where clearly, like we talked about, like that was just like a bunch of young guys playing, and like it was, it was kind of, it gets a little bit D-leaguey in the NBA at the very beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? Well, because like it gets a little bit like they're like, all right, well, it's 82 games. It's way too long. Is basically what it is. Like these guys aren't trying to play 82 game seasons. Trying to like kind of really take it easy for that first 30, and then we can kick it in for the last 50, because that's really how long the season should be, is about 50, 55 games. Yeah. But yeah, and that was also when, Jeremy Grant, obviously veteran, not a young guy anymore. He is a young guy, but he's not like young. Just came out and dominated because he was just playing every minute for Portland, and like they overpaid for him for sure. I think he disappears in the background with Dame Lillard, honestly. But at this point, I think that Brandon's probably right there.
Some of these other moves I wanted to talk about too. Yep. Derrick Rose gets released. Here's the thing that pissed me off about Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose gets released by the Knicks.
Yep.
Bulls need a point guard. No, good and damn well you need to sign this man back. And instead of you going after him, you let him get to Memphis.
Yeah.
And now the Bulls, I don't understand. Derrick Rose was right. That would have been a perfect homecoming for the Bulls.
And at this point in his career, it's so perfect too. You're right. I mean, like, backside of his career could still be a legitimate piece on any kind of successful team, honestly. And it is perfect for the Bulls. But since when did the Bulls make any kind? And didn't the Bulls just have to file for the injured player?
Yeah, they did the they did the injured player exception. 10.5 million, I believe it was. They applied for that. I don't think Lonzo comes back. It's a damn shame, but I don't think.
You think Lonzo is done?
I think he's done. I think he's done. Dude,
it's got to be legitimately bad. Over a year and a half at this point. Like, what injury even takes that long? What injury even takes that long to?
To me, that sounds like more. He got injured. He rehabbed it. He tried to come back too fast and then re-injured it.
And it was
possibly
twice as bad.
Twice as bad. Same thing with Dan. That's going on with Michael Brantley in Houston. He was out almost all season last season. Had this entire off season. Came back early season. Was still too early, and now they're not wondering if he's going to come back at all.
Yeah, and they actually said, like, I mean, they came out publicly after Michael Brantley got hurt again, and were like, yeah, this time it's not good. Like, if you even hear that out of a clubhouse, that really means it's not
from
good.
Dusty Baker. If Dusty's saying it, but Brandon just said it. The last time that Chicago did a right move was with this man right here, and that was D Rose. And
I think too that when you go back and look at things over free agency, the overhaul for at least right now, and to really know what Dame gets, I think the Lakers and the Suns have won NBA free agency thus far.
Dan said it. I think that's where he's wanting to end up, is in that purple and gold. To him, what Dame's looking at right now, he don't care about the money. He don't care. He wants a ring. He knows he's coming to the end of his time in the NBA. His career is coming to its end, and he wants that ring before he needs a ring.
I don't think Dame goes to the Lakers, but I do see him. Okay, you can do it, and I know it's not on his list of teams, but if you traded Dame to Boston for Jaylen Brown, Dame will play. He's a professional. Dame will play just fine, and they'll still be contending for the Eastern Conference and possibly a championship.
What about Dame over there with Jimmy Buckets in Miami?
I don't know. Dan, do you think Tyler Hero? Do you think a trade with Tyler Hero would make that work?
With Portland for Dame Lillard, right? I mean, yeah,
Hero to Portland.
Yes, it would, but like at this point, I don't think that's. It's obviously going to have to be other parts of the deal. There would be a lot on Miami's side. But it would work out really nice for that Miami roster and what they want to do at right now. I mean, if they're trying to make another run at it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how many times that roster can, like, I just still don't believe in, like, I believe in Jimmy Butler, but for some reason the rest of that lineup, I'm still just like, they're just, They just don't have enough. I mean, yeah, bringing Dame Lillard would be definitely enough, I would think. But at the same time, then you have two guys who take a lot of shots there too. I mean, Jimmy Butler's semi-ball dominant. Dame Lillard has been sort of ball dominant in the past. I just don't know how that works out either. He's an interesting guy. The Lakers getting him puts them on a fucking whole different, like, I think that makes them favorites to win the title. But I don't think the Lakers can do enough for Portland. Basically, they're just not. I don't think they have enough at this point. Like, there's, you keep AD, you keep LeBron. Outside of that, I mean,
I just think D'Angelo isn't enticing enough.
He's not.
And with that Miami trade, you got to keep Butler and Bam. You got to. And by keeping Butler and Bam, that might put them out of the sweepstakes to get Damian Lillard. Because what? Miami is a successful team. So what's your draft is going to be?
Exactly. And do you give up Duncan Robinson?
You got to give up Hero and at least Duncan Robinson. At least.
So you get two white guys for Damian Lillard. That doesn't sound like a real great deal, but
it's not a great deal to me neither.
Yeah.
Houston throws some money at Portland instead of throwing money at Dylan Brooks and get Dame Lillard.
Well, it's too late now.
God, I could wish.
Yeah, and Houston, and because Dame Lillard wants to go to Houston, I'm sure.
Yeah, no one wants to go to Houston except guys like Dylan Brooks.
Oh, man. What if he went with the Lakers? That would have been funny.
Honestly, Dan, I would have loved them to get for all the white guys.
Which one?
Well, they did
Austin
sign
Reeves?
him back.
Oh, you wanted Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves. They did sign him back.
They did sign him.
They did get him back.
Yeah, they signed him back.
That's smart on LA.
Yeah.
That's smart on LA.
So
I think LA and Phoenix have been the best in free agency so far.
Cam Reddish, spot up shooter, shot 36% last year. Taurean Prince shot 38% last year. Like, all you need to look at is guys who can shoot. D'Angelo Russell can shoot. Jackson Hayes, I love that move. Jackson Hayes is a big athletic center. That's what they need. They need somebody who can rebound outside of when Anthony Davis has to leave the floor because he's always leaving the floor. They made plantar fasciitis.
I got a bunion.
Or what's that foot? Liz Frank. Anthony Liz Frank Davis.
Before you know it, AD gonna be out there saying, "I need Tommy Johns. I need Tommy Johns."
Another thing I wanted to bring up too.
One-hand passes.
Another thing I wanted to bring up too that I thought was sort of kind of interesting. What do you do if Dame ends up in Clipperland, which is also a possibility? Because the Clippers and I think the Jazz can probably throw the most in terms of compensation to Portland, because both of those teams are really deep. And if you get Dame, Paul George, and Kawhi together, if they can stay healthy, which has always been the caveat.
That's the question, right?
That's the caveat. But if they can stay healthy, and you got Russ coming off the bench, the Clippers would be badass.
Yeah, but okay. I love Paul George. I definitely think he's one of the greatest in this generation as far as just ball skills. But he's old. He's old. And his body just can't handle it. Kawhi, younger, but going kind of through the same thing. Can't seem to stay healthy for an entire season. And when he misses huge chunks.
I believe that they're the same age.
Are they really?
They might be.
Sorry, Paul George is 33, Kawhi's 32. So they're kind of the same age.
I thought George was older than that. Yeah.
It comes kind of into context when you think about, like, is Kawhi going to have one of those seasons where he actually goes all in on it here soon? Because that's kind of his strategy at this point, is like, hey, maybe I kind of just wait in the wings, but I don't think we have the team to win. And then when he does think they have the team to win and PG is fucking healthy, then he's going to make a run at it, and he's going to play most of the games and play in the playoffs And then it'll be an actual, then they could be a good team. But like, what the fuck has been going on the last 2 years in LA? Like for the Clippers, like what? At one point last year, they didn't even have like one of their eventual starters on the floor for like 30 games. It's like, what is going on? How are you hurt for this long?
I've said it for years. I think the Clippers are truly cursed. Like, I really believe that Kobe put a curse and said that the Clippers will never have a successful team because you're right, Dan. They make these moves. They get guys like Paul George and Kawhi. And at one point, I know a few years back, they were saying Blake Griffin was going to be the guy to bring the Clippers back. And like, it never pans out. But I could see on that, they get Dame. Kawhi's like, okay, I've got Dame, I've got Paul, I've got Russ coming off the bench. Okay, this season we might have the team for us to win. I'm going to put all my effort into it. And if that were to happen, possibly.
Yeah, and since when can anybody just turn it off and on?
Kawhi can. He's shown that. He showed that in Toronto. He showed that in San Antonio.
I think he was talented enough when he was 27 to turn it off and on.
No, but it's a big difference when you're 32 and been playing the game professionally for 10 years
and haven't been really playing the last 2 years.
Yeah,
like it's there. That's such a strange. I mean, the Kobe curse could be a real thing. He could have cursed him to crash and burn.
Damn.
I'd make another Kobe joke right now, but it probably wouldn't fly.
Damn. But I do think too that the Suns have done a lot. They're starting to get depth on that team that they need. If they can stay healthy, they might be able to make a run. Because I think Denver's taking a step back with Bruce Brown being gone to Indiana. So they're going to be hurting a little bit. Suns might make some noise if they can stay healthy.
I mean, the Suns are definitely going to make noise. I don't know if they're going to be real good during the regular season because, like I said, they're going to take a lot of games off. That's why the NBA, hate to keep saying it, needs to fucking shorten the season down because I understand the money's there and you have attendance and all that stuff, but like, is it really worth this period of like, what looks like preseason basketball for a while? Like, is it really worth that for the first 30 games or whatever? But anyway, the Suns are definitely going to make noise. That fucking team is loaded, dude. Like
And Will's right. They outside of LA, they probably had the best free agency.
Yeah, it's like what I would say that they probably had the best free agency. I mean, well, it wasn't free agency; they got Beal in a trade. So, but best off seasons, acquisitions, they definitely are number one because they got Bradley Beal, who's, the only superstar that really moved.
Well, what about that Chris Paul trade? Getting him off the books. He didn't even know he was being traded on a plane. Finds out in Twitter that he's been traded. Damn!
Just shows you a lot about Phoenix's ownership, too.
I just think that's going to help. The only way I can see that working, bring CP3 off the bench to run that second unit.
Where did he end up?
Their second unit is terrible. So you got to depend, and plus you got to depend on some of these guys, Kuminga, and Moody. You got to depend on some of these guys. So, to get Chris Paul to come off that second unit, and also give Steph a breather. And if Steph misses any time, I know it's a little bit of a different tempo with Golden State, but at least the one thing with CP3 you get is consistency.
Right. And I think it will be good to see Chris Paul in that offense, just because that's like kind of the style that he's always played, is like share the ball. It's spread out. He can shoot the three now, or he always kind of has been able to, but now he's more of a spot up shooter.
Checking my kid over here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be exciting to see him in that Warriors offense because it's, share the ball, like how they play, fast pace. There's no fucking way he's coming off the bench, by the way.
You don't think so?
There's no. Like I don't think he really does that. I think that you go into agreement with getting Chris Paul that he's probably going to start, and they're going to find some kind of, maybe he plays for the entire first quarter, you know what I'm saying? And then sits out the first 7 or 8 minutes of the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. Like maybe he stays in with the second unit when they do the first subs, they're around 8 minutes or so.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like, so the last 4 minutes of the first quarter is always huge. You know what I'm saying? Like that's always momentum wise, that's always a big deal. So maybe you keep him in there but Steph Curry's a little bit fragile or, can be at times. Dude, they didn't even think fucking Steph Curry was going to make it. You remember that?
I remember that. I do.
They thought like they literally, he had to have like the double ankle braces on and shit all the time. And I think he doesn't even wear them anymore. I don't think. I think he's fine now.
Yeah.
They must have done some stuff like good for Steph. They must have done some stuff to like really, I don't know what you even do. Calisthenics, fucking, you wouldn't want to stretch them, right? Because that's kind of what what was the issue before, I guess. I mean, you almost want to make them like more stiff or something, more solid. I don't know how you do that, but he obviously did it because I don't even think he wears the ankle braces anymore. He doesn't roll it all the time, So
another thing that I thought it was kind of funny today. Robin Lopez signs with the Milwaukee Bucks. Now he's reunited with his brother.
Right. The splash twin mountains.
He's teamed back up with his brother yet again. That's funny.
Hopefully they'll do like a different, like one of them will have a beard and long hair, and the other one will be like all clean cut because I can't tell the difference if they're
tell the difference between the two of them.
Yeah, they're like I think Brooke is a little bit bigger as far as like I think he's a little more solid. I think he weighs a little more. But yeah, it's tough to tell. Those motherfuckers look exactly the same. They're obviously identical twins, but you think you'd be able to tell some, way they run or something. Not really. It's pretty they're pretty fucking close. I mean, biologically, I guess they're the same fucking person physically. So like, it makes sense. But like you think they would have established some kind of different move or something. Nope. They both fucking I think Brooke shoots more threes for sure. Robin usually stays down low a little bit more, but that's hopefully they don't go with the same look because that'd be weird.
And they're still one of the bigger teams in the league. Man, that's a big team. Man.
Yeah. Milwaukee? Oh, God.
Some big boy.
I mean, they start, Drew Holiday's the smallest guy they play, and he's got like a 6'9" wingspan. He's 6'4", but he's long. They're huge, dude. They don't play any fucking small guys. Chris Middleton's basically their 2, 6'9". Yep. They have they have like a point forward in Giannis, obviously, who's fucking 7 foot tall. He's 6'11". And then you played both the Lopez brothers. Jesus, these guys are 2 of the biggest guys in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's talk about Kristaps Porzingis in that Boston rotation. Do you think he fits the bill for what they need, for what they're doing?
I think he does. I think that he's like they don't have any post. He actually is kind of a post scorer at this point, as much as you can be in today's NBA. That's kind of what he does. He kind of works in the post. He fucking works at the free throw line, and that's exactly what Boston needed the whole time. Some kind of consistent scoring, not out of Jason Tatum and not out of Jaylen Brown. Right. And other than like guys who just run down the floor and shoot threes, like Marcus Smart, great defender. All that dude does on offense is shoots basically like rhythm and like, within the offense 3-pointers. Yep. They were very stagnant offensively outside of, and you have Al Horford, who I think Porzingis is like a better version of Al Horford at this point, because Al Horford is he's getting up there. He's getting those legs are going to give out at some point. And Porzingis is like a better, younger, more unicorny version, I feel like, of Horford, sort of. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like maybe not grit wise, and I don't know if he's not going to be as good a defender. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't really defend the post that well, but like as far as they need that third scorer, I think it's perfect for them. They didn't even have to give anything up really. Did they trade Marcus Smart?
Yeah, they traded Marcus Smart.
That was who it was for. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's such a great exchange. Like honestly, I love Marcus Smart as a defender. How much does he really make a difference with that Boston team? You know what I'm saying? Like he could make a difference somewhere else, but like at that point, Jaylen Brown is a great defender too, and he plays the same fucking position. So, I mean, Jaylen Brown's just going to have to start guarding the best player for, Boston's opponents, basically, which is...
Well, Marcus Smart was their leader, and is probably the team's best defender, but he goes over to Memphis, and I think he's going to be a real help over there in terms of getting those boards straight, particularly when Ja gets back. I think he's going to be a really big help to them, cut down some of that damn trash talking that they like to do.
I don't know, man. Marcus Smart trash talks a lot.
Yeah, but it'll be at least controlled smack talk. It won't be like Ja going on national TV Up until some, oh, we ain't worried about nobody else. You remember when he said that? We ain't worried about nobody else. And then what happened? Losing streak.
Yeah, and just kind of, you should have been worried about fucking your first round opponent, maybe. Like
exactly.
You know, like we should have been keeping your boy Dylan Brooks like in some sort of control at this point. And what's Memphis doing? Just switching out Marcus Smart for Dylan Brooks, basically? Because I mean, statistically they're pretty close to being the same player. Dylan Brooks is a little bit better scorer, but I think Smart's a little better defender. I mean, it's about the same thing, though.
About the same thing.
And also, Marcus Smart's smart enough to not, no pun intended. He's smart enough to like not talk shit to the GOAT.
Exactly. He ain't gonna talk shit about. He ain't gonna talk like that to LeBron. He ain't gonna do that.
He knows better.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows better because he knows how LeBron's got that passive aggressive thing going. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not gonna say it out loud or to the public, but he was fucking in for Dylan Brooks. Almost got him sent to Europe.
One last thing I do want to touch on. Draymond Green signs back with the Golden State Warriors. How big is that?
He's the he is the leader of that team for sure.
It's not Steph.
I think Steph is the silent, like we just know that Steph Curry leader, but that's not guys who are going to come out and say stuff.
The
people are going to believe
leader
them.
On that team is Draymond.
Is definitely Draymond Green, and he has the respect of everybody in that organization. They probably brought him back on a friendly deal. I didn't see the actual numbers on it, but I'm guaranteeing it was pretty freaking Warriors friendly.
I think it was 4 years, 100 mil. I could be wrong.
That's a lot, but in 4 years, I don't know if Draymond's got 4 years left. I think that Draymond's got half a foot in podcasting already. You know what I'm saying? He's got a half a foot in working for NBC or ABC. So 4 years, that's a great deal for Draymond. I don't know if that's real great for the Warriors, but he is essential. He knows that offense. I mean, that's whether or not he's going to get old really fast is probably to be seen at this point. He looked kind of getting there last year. So
well, you said that. And
I just looked it up. He's 4 years, 100 million.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And you said that, Dan, and like that's more of a thing than you think. I just saw an interview the other day with Travis Kelce saying that he's thinking he might be done in the next few years. He's always said he'd do it till the wheels fall off, but now he's got this podcast game, and him and his brother.
He realizes he realizes he doesn't have to get in a car crash every Sunday.
Yeah.
To make a little bit of money, and he's already made a lot of money, and he will makes more money. So it's like that. He's already got generational wealth at this point. I mean,
yeah.
They just don't like. They realize that they don't want to get their head like Travis Kelce loves football, or at one point loved football. Okay, at this point, it's got to be getting to the point where he probably wakes up with headaches and shit. Like shit probably scares him on a regular basis. What shit that when he was younger didn't scare him. Now it's like, oh, okay, CTE is a thing. Like it's very scary. I think these guys are probably just going, shit, I don't know if I love to do this enough anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. This is a little rough. And like, it's the only sport that it really happens in, really. Like, that's the only sport where people have to be like, yeah. Like Andrew Luck went to Stanford, guys. He was really smart. You know what he did? Retired almost immediately when he got his money. Like he was like, get my money, I'll play a couple of years. And if I feel like in any way my health is being jeopardized, I'm done. And he did.
The one thing I do want to say, none of this stuff that Golden State has done has really addressed any need at all. They need to get some size. They're too damn small. And I'm thinking you might see maybe a Dwight Howard coming over, maybe.
That'd be a good move.
Or, on some type of a minimum vet minimum deal.
Where's DeAndre Jordan at? He got signed by somebody, I believe.
He got signed by he got picked back up by Denver.
Did Dwight not? Okay. Didn't Dwight retire? Didn't he announce retirement?
That fool playing with the Shanghai Sharks or something like that.
Yeah, he's huge in China. He probably won't want to leave, honestly.
Who was it that retired this season? That LeBron said he recorded the video.
What was it? Tristan Thompson?
No, it was someone bigger name than that. It was someone. Oh, it was Melo. It was
No,
Melo.
Carmelo
yeah.
Anthony.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Melo.
Carmelo retired, and Udonis Haslam too. Shout out to Udonis Haslam for doing his thing.
We thought Udonis Haslam retired 6 years ago, but he actually was still on a roster.
Yeah,
He was still in Miami. He's just sitting there in the same spot.
just sitting in the same spot,
Yep,
getting
never
spot
playing.
duty. Shout out to him. Maybe
I don't even
Kevin
think
Love,
he got cleanup work.
maybe Kevin Love becomes available for Golden State, but they need a big bad.
Kevin Love would be awesome for that team.
Yes.
You think Kevin Love doesn't re-sign with Miami?
If he's smart, he does. But
I was going to
He
say,
would
if
be.
he's smart, Kevin signs
But then
whatever.
again,
If I'm Kevin, I'm hoping Miami offers me like $3 million or three years,
but then
55,
again,
60 million.
but
And I
then
take that
again,
and finish out my career.
I don't know if I'm counting out that
Who
Golden
is
State.
having the boxing match? Is that fireworks I'm hearing?
that's fireworks, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
Jesus.
me.
Damn.
There is a dude. It's going off around here, bud.
Yeah,
Like,
it sounds like
I
a
can
war
see
zone,
it.
bro.
In
I
my
don't
cameras,
know.
I can see it. It's fucking crazy.
I
Just
don't know
huge
if
flashes.
I'm giving up on that Golden State Warrior core yet, though. I don't know if I'm giving up on that core yet.
I don't think you can. I mean,
don't think
Steph,
you can. And if you
Steph
get
Curry
Kevin
still-
Love, if you get Kevin Love, that's even better. He can rebound. He can shoot open. He can shoot the open jumper.
pass.
He could, he does put effort on the defensive end. He might not be the best defender, but at least he puts effort in on the defensive end.
Yeah, I think it'd be huge that'd be a huge move. But is that even? Do you think that's even?
I don't know what
Possible.
they're looking at money wise,
Yeah.
but I
Uh,
imagine it would be possible because you just
Lucky-
got off the Pools contract, and you
I'm
can let your boy Chris Paul go after a year.
I was gonna say I'm not sure I like the letting go of Jordan Poole for Chris Paul thing though. I mean, because that's essentially what they did. Like, do you think they thought Jordan Poole was like too much volume?
I think he made
Like,
too much
we-
money.
Oh, he did want too much money, probably.
I think he made too much money. Yeah, I
Because
think it was
last year, what? It would be his rookie deal still, right?
because
and then
he re-signed. He re-signed for like 45 million.
Okay, a year.
So right. So he re-signed for
Good
that.
God.
So he re-signed for 45 million, I think over 5 or 6 years. So they didn't want to, I don't know the exact details of the extension, but I think that and the fact they wanted Draymond back and they didn't want, and in order to get Draymond to come back, Jordan Poole had to go.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep.
That interpersonal stuff. What was it? I saw some rumor about what Jordan Poole said that why Draymond.
I don't know if I
punched him in the
believe
face.
that. I don't know.
What
if I
was it?
believe
What,
that.
what was it? Which one did you hear?
That was some childish stuff. Jordan Poole was talking about Draymond broke.
Oh yeah, talking about
Bruh.
his, that how he's having
Bruh.
money. They do that shit. Like they're kind of, like those guys. Remember the Lakers thing there for a while before LeBron got there
Mhm.
with who was it? It was Kuzma and all those guys. Kuzma and D'Angelo Russell was part of it.
Yep.
Younger, obviously D'Angelo Russell, but like they just some real petty high school girl shit. Like
Yep.
just being like, oh, this motherfucker dating this chick and I already dated her and I fucked her. I was like, what in the fuck are you guys doing?
What are you
Like,
doing?
you children.
What are you
Stop it.
doing?
Like that's what I felt like it probably was for Draymond. Like Draymond's an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it was like some real childish like shit probably from Jordan Poole because he seems like that's what he does.
Yeah.
But he does seem like that's kind of what he's young too. Like
I know one thing though. Well, on that Wizards team, they might not win a whole lot of games, but Jordan Poole gonna get to go ahead to jack up any shot he want.
Jordan Poole's going to
Any shot
average
he wants.
27 and a half points a game next year. And he's
Might be
going
an all-star.
he's going to shoot 41% from the field.
Heck yeah.
40% from the field, 28% from three, and just be jacking up 22 shots a game. It's going to be
Yeah,
great.
they're gonna give him the green light, but I do like the fact they signed Kuzma back for 106 mil. I do like the fact they signed him back, bring some consistency, set a kind of a big three with Tony Jones. But I do like for the fact that they at least knew that you had to get off Bradley Beal at some point and move on with a rebuild. So I do like that fact.
Yeah, don't make him be there for that whole thing. Like that's kind of like the Dame Lillard thing. Like, how long's Dame Lillard been there?
Right.
Like he's 11 years of
Entire career.
Yeah. Hey, just saying. they model Dame Lillard to be loyalty, right? Because he stayed with Portland. I mean, LeBron James was with the Cleveland Cavaliers for 11 years and never requested a trade. In total, but never requested a trade. Did he leave? Yeah. He never requested a trade from a terrible team in a terrible situation. Just saying. So gets called a traitor all the time, but LeBron did kind of, stay in Cleveland through a lot of shit and didn't never fucking publicly request a trade. Just saying.
I mean, he
just hasn't.
And to give LeBron his props, he did make good on his work. All he promised with Cleveland when he got drafted the first time was a championship. He gave them a championship. Did he leave and come back and give them a championship? Yes, but he gave him a championship.
He did. So he didn't. Yeah, like that was the big deal with Miami. Is like, oh, you didn't give us a championship, but like, come back and do it. Like, who's the model of loyalty and who's the fucking traitor that goes to super teams? Just saying.
All right, let's go ahead and move off the NBA. Let's go ahead and move into the WWE.
I actually got some shit.
I thought you were going to say, let's move into the WNBA. And I was like, no.
Hell no.
You got to say it right, Will.
We don't even have
Hell no.
W.
Is that Val Venus?
No, that is
New Day.
New Day. Yes.
All right, let's move into our fight night segment. Let's
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I win the crown.
So, I mean, the thing going around the thing. First off, I got to say this. I do have to say this. Well, I know you probably didn't watch it, but, and this is saying something coming from me. Money in the Bank was actually a quality pay-per-view.
I watched pieces of it. From what I saw, I got an A.
Yeah, I would say that too. A, B plus A, somewhere in there.
Mm.
Pretty much everything we didn't want to happen didn't happen. Charlotte lost.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And lost definitively. Like quick. It was everything I wanted it to be. Asuka looked like a badass.
Yep.
But yeah, Money in the Bank was a quality pay-per-view. I was actually very impressed to the point I actually watched a little bit of Raw. I watched the first hour of Raw tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it actually kind of draw me in a little bit. But the big news coming out of Money in the Bank is after 3.5 years, ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns was pinned. And not just pinned, but pinned by his cousin.
Same as this.
Main event.
Yeah, you're fine.
Main event, Jey Uso.
Yep.
Getting that win. 3.5 years. 3.5 years. I've got to say, this Bloodline Civil War, the storyline is so good. I've seen multiple people say it, and I can't argue with it. It is one of the best things the WWE has done in probably decades. You know what scares me about this, though, Will? The Bloodline story is coming to the end. Like, it's getting there. Probably in the next 6 months or so. Like, all of this is going to run its course. My worry is what happens after that. What happens to the Usos? Roman's going to go full part-time at that point, start working on his acting career and pull what his cousin did.
Yeah.
And so I could see Solo, some people are saying mid-card. Personally, to me, Solo is a world champion.
Ooh,
I see Umaga in that motherfucker. Like, I see a lot of Umaga in that motherfucker. To me, I would love. I actually just saw this. He just told Armando Alejandro Estrada. I just saw on Facebook this week, he just told his kid, who's 10, that he was in the WWE. But I would love for them to bring him back. And
he just put a good promo on NXT not too long ago.
I know. I would love for him to bring him back, put him with Solo, and make Solo the new kind of Umaga. I could see it. I think Solo's probably not the best promoter, but if you put him with a strong manager, I could see him just being a Samoan Bulldozer 2.0. But back on Roman, that tag match was freaking awesome. It was so good. All 4 guys killed it. There was so many false finishes at the end that I absolutely loved. And yeah, Roman. Oh, I like that title there, Dan.
We also got Shayna turning on Ronda.
I was gonna get to that, yeah. And then Jay getting the pin, and then here's a little bit of kayfabe, spoiling kayfabe for you. Did you see Roman say "I love you" when Jay pinned him? Did you see it?
Yeah.
I saw it.
So I'm coming out with a wrestling league, and I think the acronym has never been used before. Okay, so it's Nebraska Wrestling Organization. So it's going to be the NWO. I don't think anybody's done that before. So it's just me and my dog right now.
I think you're going to be getting a cease and desist letter from WWE real soon.
Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help.
You're going to be getting a cease and desist letter from WWE real soon.
Between me and my dog, I am the NWO.
I can see the FBI delivering that right now.
FBI, open up!
Yeah, good God, man, that actually scared the shit out of me. I just get up and just start firing shots through my wall.
Well, Dan, between the pounding and the explosions going outside,
I feel like I'm in Nam, bro. I feel like I was in Nam for the last 3 days. I'm walking around, Charlie's in the trees. Oh God.
Y'all remember this?
Fucking nuts, man.
Money, Vietnam!
Yes. Yeah. For real.
but
Take care of your feet. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that movie. I fucking love that movie.
Fucking salute me.
But yeah, the other news coming out of Money in the Bank, Damian Priest is your men's Money in the Bank winner. I'm sad because Will hit it.
Oh, that.
I'm sad because Mr. LA Knight did not win it. But for the sheer fact that they're willing to put it on someone that is older than LA Knight, I do think now he does get a title run. I think it's going to happen at some point down the road. He's just so over right now.
For a heel.
For a heel.
Yeah.
Getting.
That's the thing. For a heel.
Man, and I got to say this. That crowd made me so excited for All In. So excited because they were so freaking on the entire show. So I'm excited for All In August for AEW. I think the London crowd they're just animals with wrestling. And they just don't get enough of it.
My only issue with Money in the Bank, why did they have to have John Cena come out?
He came out for one reason and one reason only, Will. I've seen it.
That WrestleMania promo in England.
Yeah, well, you know why they did that?
Money?
Is because of, yes, it's what it all boils down to. But what it was is AEW did just sell 75,000 seats at Wembley, and they're going to be there in a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, scared WWE just a little bit. I mean, they really don't have anything to worry about, but just a little bit, it scared them. And yeah, John Cena came out and did that whole WrestleMania program now, and I'm hearing multiple rumors that they're going to announce Wembley Stadium for Mania 41 in the next couple of weeks. So,
as far as LA Knight's concerned, I think they're going to go a different direction with LA Knight. I'm thinking it's going to be Knight in Theory.
You think they're going to put him in a tag team?
No.
Oh, you think Knight? I mean, I wouldn't mind that because he has not defended that title since Mania. He is not.
No.
He's not really even been on TV since Mania. I don't know if he's hurt or whatnot.
I don't know either.
When you got Gunther out there making the Intercontinental title look like a world championship, yeah, I would love to see LA as the U.S. title holder. I think he would bring some real legitimacy to that title. The other big news, real quick before we get to that, Io Sky won the women's Money in the Bank. That was a good one. That was probably the best pick out of everybody. I would have liked to seen her, or I would have been okay with Becky. Even though we all know Becky's facing Trish at SummerSlam. So
we know this.
And the other big news is, yes, Shayna Baszler turned on Ronda Rousey. Shocked me when it was happening, but now in the reports that Ronda is done after SummerSlam.
Yeah, I read that too. Yeah.
And I've heard reports that she's quitting. Nobody quits the WWE. That's not how it works. Her contract is probably up after SummerSlam, and she's just not resigning, which fine with me. I'm not a fan of hers. Seeing Shayna come out tonight and tell Ron, the first thing she said is, "Shut up. No one wants to hear you struggle on the mic anymore like you have for the last 3 years." I was like, oh! And yeah, I mean, I like Shayna Baszler. To me, out of the two, and out of all the 4 horsewomen of MMA, I think she is the best to transfer into wrestling. She by far has done it the best. Marina Shafir is good, but she just can't get over. Ronda never wanted to be a wrestler. Like, they offered her a shit ton of money.
Yep.
And that was all there was to it. And she's not good at promos
because
she's not real good at the fake fighting.
Because UFC doesn't pay their athletes.
Yeah, they don't. Especially their female athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
you said you had 2 questions, though, Dan.
2 questions. Number 1, Will, real quick, what jersey are you wearing?
Nobody's. This is
just buckets.
Generic.
It's buckets, not rocket.
Yeah,
buckets,
this is generic
not
t-shirt.
Rockets.
Yeah, it's generic t-shirt.
Okay. Number 2 is, like, if you guys won the title, like, how would you, like, do the turnbuckle hold? Like, would you do it, like, with the 2 arms? Like, when I do the 2-arm thing, or like, would you do like the fucking? Like,
it's over my shoulder.
It's
like over my
shoulder.
shoulder.
Yeah, but
Will,
like when you hold it up though, you're doing like the fucking.
I hold it up.
2-hand thing, or are you doing like the?
He's asking if you just won a match, you defended it, you won it, you're going to the turnbuckle to do your pulls. Are you holding it like this, or are you doing it like this?
I'm doing one. I'm doing one.
You don't do the double.
I don't do 2. I'll do 1.
See,
I feel like I wear it.
Yeah, that'd be me. I always feel I like guys who the moment they get it back, they strap it on every time. That's how I've always liked it. I think mine would be strapped, and then I do the belt symbol.
I got to go with you, Will. Though I got to go over the shoulder. I think just
I got
just
I
all
do
the time natural. Like I would, if you're more like put together, I think you put it on.
Yeah, but
personally,
you're like
I can go.
I've always wanted to be Josie 2 belts, so I could have one around the waist and one around the neck.
I like to carry my 2. I like to carry my 2 on each shoulder.
Yeah, have the double. Yeah,
I always
like Paul Heyman does.
And then you got to pick them up, Will, with the 2 hands. I always do both of them.
Will, I liked belt collector Kurt Angle, like how he used to do the belts, 1 around the neck, 2 on the shoulders, 1 around the waist.
Yep. Ultimo do that shit with Ultimo Dragon then.
Had this upside down. There we go.
But yeah, I normally have my US title on this shoulder, and then I put my TNT or my AEW title on the left shoulder.
What years was this? This one? Because this is
that was the original NWA title. It just it was just rebranded with a WWE symbol on it.
That's my favorite titles.
That's the Ric Flair title.
Even though that one, what is that, a toy?
Yeah, it's plastic.
Yeah.
It looks small.
Yeah.
It's super light too. So you it just says it doesn't say over the shoulder. It doesn't look it falls off.
That's one of my favorite belts. One of my favorite of all time. But yeah, so you had Shayna turn on Rousey. They're gonna have a match at SummerSlam. The thing is I think Shayna can carry Rousey to a pretty good match. I did think the turn was weird Did you see it, Will?
At the time, at that
Well,
point
no.
in the match,
It
it was just that point in the match.
It made no sense to me at that point. Like they just tagged in and then she just jumps her. Like to me, the turn would have made more sense after they lost. And then I know that's what everybody does. Or have her turn right at the beginning. Have her turn before the match even started.
Right.
Or you know what would have been a really good one? Ring the bell. Shayna blasts her and walks out, and then they just pin her and win the titles.
They did that. They did that. They did that. Barry Windham on Lex Luger, boy.
Yeah,
In the middle.
The turn just didn't. The way they did it in that match to me was just a little weird.
Yeah, this at that point.
Shit. More on Money in the Bank. Seth and Finn had a freaking banger. Like. There's two of the best in the business right now, and they had a great match. I'm interested to see the Finn and Damian Priest things. What's going to happen with this?
I think Finn gonna get kicked out.
I'm beginning to think more. It's even though Damian has been playing a little bit more babyface as of late, I could see it them kicking Finn out like Finn kicked Edge out. But also, it's not just that. I wanted to talk about this too. Why the fuck did Natalya get a third fucking title match tonight? Why? Like, I wanted Rhea Mommy to have that title so badly. And this run has been shit. It's been garbage. She has not had one, like, believable, no feuds. They've all been thrown together matches. The Selena Vega one made sense to me because of where they were going, but then it seems like every week she's in a match with Natty because they don't know what to do with her.
Right.
And I just at this point, Rhea's title run just isn't doing.
I don't want
to
sell Natty short though.
No, I love Natty. I think Natty is a phenomenal talent.
She's a legitimate contender. She can be a legitimate contender. She could be. She could be a legitimate contender, but she won't be given the opportunity to be.
She's like we said, she's Mama Hen now.
That's what she is.
The mother of the locker room. I love Natty. I think she's a phenomenal talent. I think she should have had more title runs than she did.
I just think if she left WWE, she'll be a champion somewhere else so fast.
Yeah. She could easily go to Impact and be women's world champion. I did want to talk real quick. I watched Impact this week because I was on a road trip, and Impact is doing the damn thing over there. Will's kids getting into shit.
Sorry about that. My daughter had to tell me something. Go ahead.
But no, I watched Impact this week, and like we always say, man, Impact is putting on some quality wrestling.
See, if you take Natty over to Impact,
oh yeah,
come on now. She can have some mega matches over there.
Oh yeah, their women's division is pretty stacked too. So, I wanted to give a shout out to friend of Fight Night, Layla Gray is officially All Elite. She was added to the roster today, so that means she has signed a full-term contract with them. Congratulations to Layla Gray.
Congrats to her.
If you want to hear about this and more, check out Fight Night. We will not be airing tomorrow because of the 4th of July. We will be on Wednesday. So check us out Wednesday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. And yeah, thank God Roman Reigns took that fucking pin. And I will actually be watching SmackDown this Friday because I want to see the trial of the Tribal Chief.
All right,
it's the only thing going good in WWE right now. It's the only thing.
Oh yeah. All right, let's go ahead and finish up the show, breaking down the world of Major League Baseball. Let's go ahead and get done with the 7th inning stretch.
I want to be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints.
I'm out this. I'm out this. My team is terrible right now. My team right now sits
11 games back.
a poultry. A poultry. Let's see if I can find it.
11 games under 500. Sorry, not.
It's a poultry.
Yeah, they're like
See,
36 and 49 or something.
See, this is just man. This is just come on, man.
$200 million in the offseason will
This
be
is-
11 games under 500.
this is just
$200
so-
million.
You're so disrespectful.
It was more than that.
like that. This team is 38 and 46.
It was
38 and 46. And the payroll doesn't match for a 38 and 46 team. It doesn't.
It might have been 200 million like a season in salary. Like they might have, I think they probably gave out about 200 million in salary, or at least guys that are re-signed. Obviously Verlander,
Mhm.
55 million a year, something like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're going absolutely batshit.
You're going haywire over at your house.
Jesus, man. It
it's
sounds like
ridiculous.
a
It's
war zone.
It's
You gotta
like,
roll
it's
over there
like
with me. Can you imagine if one of those fireworks hits a cornfield? You get all that popcorn.
well, I'm not in. I mean, I'm not in the middle of a cornfield. There is people that live around, but there's a cornfield like 100 yards away. That they could probably.
There you go.
It's
One
somewhere.
of those sparks go down there. Bam,
back there.
pow. You got all that popcorn right there.
Yeah, who knows? Probably one's probably gonna go to one of my trees out front,
Bam.
just light my house on fire.
And they're blowing it up.
Yeah, they're
blowing it
going nuts. Anyway,
Ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen,
the
if you're
Mets suck.
listening to this on Spotify or podcast later, no, he's not in a war zone. They're just shooting off fireworks.
yeah, it's not Nam.
He's not
Pretty
in
crazy.
Ukraine.
I got two different neighbors doing it now. Like they're having fireworks shows. Anyway, yeah, the
Showing
Mets
who's
suck.
got the bigger dick.
The Mets suck, Will.
Terrible, man.
Razor actually on a little bit of a slide, Dan. They're 5 for 5 in their last 10.
It'll naturally, yeah, they'll naturally come down. Wander Franco cooled off big time. He might not even make an all-star team, which is really weird because at the beginning of the season,
All stars are in. The votes are in.
Well, but two guys aren't going to be able to play, so there's going to be replacements. So Franco is one of the top guys to be one of those replacements because Aaron Judge, obviously, and Jordan are not going to play. So they will have to replace those with two guys. They might have already done that or did that today. I'm not really exactly sure.
The Orioles
Yeah,
are
It's
killing.
49 and 34 right now. Literally last year, the Orioles lost 100 games last year and now are sitting second place in the AL East.
they're not going to stay second place. New York beat them today.
Yankees are definitely moving up. Where they were bottom of the AL East a few weeks ago, they're now third.
And that's without Aaron Judge, guys. They played without Aaron Judge for almost a month now.
I heard a
And-
rumor the other day that Judge might be out the season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be the whole season. He'll come back after the All-Star break sometime, but
It's Cleveland catching. It's Cleveland catching Minnesota in the AL Central.
I could see it. Ellie, that rookie that they just brought up.
you're thinking of Ellie De La Cruz. That's the Reds.
Oh, sorry. I always get them confused.
It's all right. They're Cleveland and Cincinnati. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I always get them
me too.
confused. And I lived right outside of Cincinnati, and I still get them confused. So
The AL Central is almost like,
that's
it's
garbage.
such an enigma
That's
because
trash.
dude, why are the Chicago White Sox not winning that division every year is my question. They have the most talent easily. They just don't.
And now, right now, they're sitting 37 from 49 in fourth place.
It's every year.
And then the Twins are winning that division with a 500 record, 43
Yeah,
and 43.
That's all you got to do every year. Just be about 5 games over 500, and you'll win that whole division. Kansas City's obviously terrible. Those fountains sure are pretty though.
When was the last time Kansas City was any good? George Brett.
2000,
2016.
2015, yeah, 16.
Just kidding.
Really though,
In the
I mean,
AL West, my Astros still sit in second place. We did, however, just beat the Rangers 2 out of the 3 in this series. I think where we will take that first place spot in the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
I would think so too. I mean, Jordan's huge.
We're finally on an upswing. They said Jordan will be back in time for the All-Star game. So
I heard Jordan's definitely not playing in the All-Star game.
No, I've heard he's not playing in the game, but that's just to save him. He will be back
after the All-Star break. Yeah.
Okay.
He could play, choosing not to.
Arizona, 50-35. Can they keep that up?
Yeah, Arizona's legit.
Yeah,
Our buddy Tony Gladstone 7 that was his team this year. Last year it was Seattle, and Seattle obviously made a splash. Arizona's good, man. Corbin Carroll, I call him the white trash ninja. He leads off. He's hilarious. Left-handed hitter, great prospect. He's already coming to a full. They got rid of Dalton Varsho to Toronto, and that doesn't even matter. Zach Gallen's a great pitcher. They have a lot of young talent, honestly. Ketel Marte is a fucking stud. He has been for a while.
Well, in the NL, the Central is what the AL Central is. It's trash. You've only got two good teams in it. You got the Reds, and Reds are 6-4 in their last 10. They were at one point on a 12-game really winning streak because of that. Man, Ellie De La Cruz is freaking insane, man. Hit for the cycle in his 6th game.
Yeah, I think it was like his 19th or something like that.
Was it? Oh, it was something. It was something crazy.
Yeah, it was. He in his rookie year. He
Yeah,
hit for the cycle in his rookie year, and that early in his rookie year, it's fucking amazing. If you watch the guy,
if he can keep this up, he is definitely in the conversation for NL Rookie of the Year.
I think he's already pretty much established. I think that's.
I mean, it depends. You like we've said many times, Dan. If he has a fall off, like a really significant fall off,
I don't see that happening this year.
I don't see it either because it's sometimes I swear he knows exactly what pitch is coming.
He's gonna get hits in this league just from being as good an athlete as he is. He has one of the top run speeds in baseball. He's the newly crowned almost at this point Greek god of exit velo. Has the most so he had in a minor league game last year, he had 3 balls that he hit over 118 miles an hour. There was only one other one, I think, in Major League Baseball. So he had one game where he had 3 118 mile an hour exit velo, and there was only like 1 in Major League Baseball the whole year or something like that. So he hits the ball as hard as anybody's ever hit the ball. Like since it's been recorded, hits the ball over the place, and then he's fast, plays shortstop, and he's a switch hitter. He's a unicorn, quite literally is a Major League Baseball unicorn. And he's going to be good for a long time. Probably he might have a sophomore slump a little bit because they're going to figure him out, but he'll figure it out then. And then that's, but the Reds are interesting, man. The Reds have a lot of,
the Reds are surprising me this year. That's my secondary team to my Stros just because I lived 45 minutes from their stadium. But I got to talk real quick about the Braves and the fact that they are number 1 in baseball right now.
Yeah.
I got to say that because my grandfather was a huge Braves fan. They're 9-1 in their last 10, sitting .679.
Do you know why the Braves are so good?
Who?
Well, it's a lot of. I mean, it's their offense in general.
It's a lot of it.
Their lineup is ridiculous front to back. Michael Harris, the NL fucking Rookie of the Year last year, bats like 7th for them. And then they have Spencer Strider, who's in their Class A starter. Like he's the top of the line, cream of the crop, probably one of the top five pitchers in the NL for sure. And his mustache is great. But he's a stud. And then that, but that offense is fucking ridiculous. Ozzie Albies, Ronald Acuna Jr. is having a MVP. I bet Ronald Acuna Jr. would probably win the MVP.
I agree with that. I mean, he won the All-Star voting by the most votes for any player by a huge, huge margin.
He has, I'll have to look up the numbers, but he's on pace or was on pace at one point for a 50-70 season. So 50 homers, 70 stolen bases.
That's
crazy.
And that's nuts.
Yeah, which nobody's ever done 50-70. Bonds did 50-30, I think, once, and then there was some in between. There's been Cedric Mullins a couple of years ago had a 30-30 year, but 50-70 is fucking ridiculous. And Ronald Acuna's a stud, dude. He's in his prime right now. So, Ronald Acuna's a stud. Obviously, Matt Olson, they might have got just as good a hitter. They lost Freddie Freeman and they didn't downgrade that much at first base because Matt Olson from fucking Oakland is a stud, left-handed first baseman, just like Freeman. So they kind of got that replaced. Austin Riley's great. The offense is just fucking crazy. Basically, they score a bunch of runs all the time. So it's like every time I see a fucking score, it's like 14-2 Atlanta. Like they score 14, like they score 10 runs more than anybody. And then they have pretty good pitching, honestly, too. But you don't really need that kind of pitching when you fucking scored.
The one thing I did want to talk about, and I know she's not here with us tonight, but the Dodgers, 46-37. Are they disappointed or still a disappointment or still a contender?
No, I think they're a contender. They'll make the playoffs.
They're playing above the level. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about the Dodgers is they're gonna do what they do every year. Now I will say the Astros and the Dodgers are going to have to really work in the second half of the season to hit that 100-win mark that they always want to hit. Like they're right now, they would really need to have a really good second half of the season to hit 100 wins.
So yeah, the Dodgers are actually not like the last couple of years. They've obviously been they've been great. And it's been expected them to be great in the playoffs. Yeah. And it might actually be good for them that they weren't expected to be that good this year because they weren't. And now it's like they still got fucking Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman still at the top of that lineup. And JD Martinez from Boston, I'm sure Seven hates it. JD Martinez can still fucking hit. They had a couple of guys that filled in. Trey Turner got traded out, obviously. Miguel Rojas from Miami comes in and he's fucking been doing just fine. They have James Outman, new center fielder, replace Bellinger. They've just done well with guys who just came in, basically have done just as good a job. And then Mookie Betts is killing it. Obviously, Freeman's killing it. Clayton Kershaw's having a resurgence year. Might be better for them to go into the playoffs as not the fucking favorite. You know what I'm saying? They won 115 games or the fuck ever. Did some crazy shit.
Underdog for once.
Yeah. And Will Smith, not the guy who smacks people, the catcher. Right in the middle of that lineup.
My wife's name out your motherfucking mouth.
Yeah. Not the
oh my gosh.
Not the guy who played in Concussion. Not that guy. He's another Will Smith because there's only that's not the most common name ever. Yeah.
Real quick, I did want to talk about a team that we talked about, the Orioles, and how they're resurging this year after having a terrible season last year. A team that had a pretty good season last year and ended up in the playoffs and everything, and that's the Cardinals. Garbage. Absolute trash.
They've had a lot of
35-49. They've lost 4 out of 6 of their last 10. Now I realize they did lose a lot. They lost. Not that he's a huge hit, but Pujols retired, and I think that was part of their surgence last year, is really wanting to have a really good season for his last season.
Yeah, they've had a lot of injury issues. Brendan Donovan just came back recently against the Yankees, and he's fucking can stroke. He's a leadoff hitter. They've had a lot of injury issues with the Cardinals. The biggest story in Major League Baseball right now, after the All-Star break and around the trade deadline, is are the Cardinals going to sell or are they going to try and buy? Because if the Cardinals sell, they have a bunch of pieces that people are going to try and pick up.
Yeah.
And so basically, I don't think Arenado is on the market or Goldschmidt, but you never know. Honestly, you never know around the trade deadline because if they try and go full rebuild, they don't need a 35-year-old starting first baseman like Paul Goldschmidt. They don't need a 32-year-old Nolan Arenado. But those guys could be very useful on other teams. Nolan Arenado would look great in pinstripes. I'm not just saying. And they need a first baseman. They need a third baseman. Everybody besides Josh Donaldson, who's in pinstripes. He's been getting booed, and
even worse than that dude last year for
Aaron
LA.
Hicks? Who?
No, who
Bellinger?
was the dude last year for LA that was was it LA or was it a different team that was just, he went on a 30-game no-hit streak or something?
Probably Cody Bellinger, so you're probably talking about. He got kind of they were booing him for a while last year. He got
It was
fucking
someone
booed
else.
that
He had
time.
a funny name. I remember we talked about him a lot. I can't think of the name though.
Joey Gallo.
Yes, Gallo.
Yeah,
Gallo.
Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo. Okay.
That was with the Yankees, and Gallo came in and got booed from the fucking beginning because he just could not.
He's
handle
terrible. He's terrible.
Well, he's not terrible. This is the thing. Like, he's a power hitter. He's the 3 outcome guy. So he's either gonna fucking strike out, he's gonna walk, or he's gonna hit a homer. There's no in betweens with him. Like, that's what he is. And he came into New York, and it was too much pressure. People don't like fucking guys in New York hitting 177. Like, it's just not a thing that, like, because that's what Josh Donaldson's doing right now, and he's getting booed every fucking at bat because
Birds.
yeah, he can't catch up with the fastball. It's like becoming a thing. And but yeah, it was Joey Gallo, and he got booted out of town.
Real quick,
All right,
before we get out of here, Will, I got one question for Dan. Before we get out of here, so now we're coming into the halfway mark of the season. Dan, what are you thinking with the rule changes so far? How are you feeling about them? I am enjoying them. There's not one rule that they changed that I haven't liked. Even with the eliminating the shift and how they've kind of adapted to it, I think it still makes the game more interesting, more exciting to watch. The pitch clock, as we've said many times, it's probably going to change after this season somewhat. I think some of the umps are being Nazis, and yes, I use that word, with the rules on it just to fuck some pitchers. It seems like Max Schwarber cannot catch a break with that shit. Like Scherzer, sorry.
Yeah, well, and Scherzer also talked openly about it and has been very widely openly critical of all the rule changes. Well, with the pitch clock and shit, and like umpires using it against. They can definitely do it. They can execute it to a certain point, and also pitchers and hitters are using it as strategy too. Some of them, because you can't face the batter as a pitcher until the batter faces you. So like he has to be in and take a look at you, and so like the batters are taking forever to get into the box. And then they'll just go and look at him with like 2 seconds left, and then the guy's got to start his, So there's gamesmanship going on with it. They'll probably have to figure out some of that stuff. But the best part about it is when you're watching a baseball game, it's not fucking a bunch of lag downtime. The guy's fucking getting the rosin bag, throwing it up in his fucking hand, and it's like the action moves.
I've watched more baseball this season in a regular season than I have probably watched in my entire life because the game it moves along. You know that unless it goes into extra innings, which really hasn't happened a lot this season that I've seen.
It hasn't.
Unless it goes into extra innings, you're probably going to be done in about 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah.
And I do understand the fans that go to games more are it's not as interesting. But if you're a fan like me that watches more games on TV than anything else.
Well, I think that's most fans. That's most fans of any sport. It is. There's a small section of people who have the money
season
and
tickets.
The means to just go to every single game. That's a very small amount of people. Like
even less in baseball.
Even people are watching games on TV. Like there's regulars that go to every game, but like those get retired, whatever. But like most people watch it on TV. So like that's the best way to do it is to market the game for sure. So they were just behind on it.
Yeah, even the bigger bases, I think, has really helped with making it more exciting on the steals. The steals have definitely went up this year. One last question for you, Dan, and then we'll get out of here, Will. Who do you think so far is the biggest bust of trades this year? And I have one I want to throw in on that.
Team-wise or just player-wise?
No, player-wise. Abreu is one. I think the Astros have not gotten near what they paid for him so far.
Javier Abreu?
No, Jose
Abreu.
Okay.
He was struggling there for a second. I thought he picked it up a little bit.
It is slowly starting to pick up. He's hit 3 home runs now.
That was the weird thing. He didn't hit a homer for like fucking for the first
4
games.
months, something like that. Crazy.
That's kind of his thing.
And coming off of MVP 2 years ago. Had a pretty good season last year, and he's just not done anything this year. But who do you think is the biggest?
I have to say that. I have to say it's Abreu, but Abreu wasn't a trade, right?
No. I'm just talking. Well,
anything acquisition?
Yeah, acquisition. Biggest bust acquisition.
Definitely Carlos Rodon.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
is right now. The guy hasn't fucking played yet.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be like
Verlander might even be on that list.
It was supposed to be like that fucking, 1-2 punch Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon. Rodon hasn't played. I think that his injury was undersold by the Giants too. Who, I mean, whatever, gamesmanship, but like if he comes back, maybe that he's definitely the biggest bust so far because he hasn't even, or Jacob DeGrom.
DeGrom's a good one. How is Carlos from the Astros, that shortstop? Is he having a good season with the Twins?
Correa?
Yeah, Correa.
Correa's pretty much always having a good season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. He's not boosting the Twins to.
Well, and I mean, the Twins are still sitting at a 500 record. The issue there is, and the reason I think he tried to leave this offseason so hard is they've got nothing around him. They've got nothing. He's it. And I'm sorry, we've said it 1,000 times on these shows, especially in Major League Baseball. One superstar does not make a team.
And nobody wants to go to Minnesota. Unfortunately,
No
they're small market. Nobody wants to play fucking baseball in Minneapolis in the summer.
I'm gonna push back on that. I'm gonna push back on that, Josie, for a second, because I think there's only one exception to that rule, and that's Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, I'm talking baseball. I'm talking baseball.
Well, let's say in general, I think he's the only person that defies that logic.
Mahomes got a lot of talent around him. He's got Kelsey. But
if you take him off that team, what are the Chiefs?
They're not anything.
Exactly.
He's the biggest one guy in sports. There's no doubt about it. I mean, LeBron was for a while. It was like he was but LeBron even had help. I mean, in football, it's so much different though, because you have a quarterback like that. You have a transcendent quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, who we call the GOAT literally just off of talent. Yep. It's like accomplishments aren't even the thing at this point. It's just like, holy shit, we've never seen a guy fucking like that. He's the transcendent one guy right now. I mean, Barry Bonds is the greatest fucking baseball player I've ever seen, and he didn't win a fucking World Series. He got to a couple World Series, never won one. So so in baseball, it really doesn't fucking matter. I mean, the Angels forever. Mike Trout was the best player in fucking baseball for 10 years. And they didn't win shit. He hardly even got to the fucking playoffs.
I mean, they've got, as we've said multiple times, they've got two goddamn generational talents on their team, and they're still only sitting at third place, I believe. Yeah, third place, 45 and 41. Barely over 500.
They really don't have anything else. They really don't have anything else going for them. Their pitching is pretty terrible. They have a couple of guys. Griffin Canning's all right, but like they're no real transcendent pitchers. I mean, it's weird. I mean, we
talked about at the beginning of the season that there was rumor for the Angels that if they were not like in a good spot come the All-Star break, that they would look at moving Shohei. Do you think they're going to look at moving Shohei, or do you think they're being over 500, they're still thinking they got a shot?
I think they're going to try and win the last season because I think that they know Shohei's gone after this year.
If that man's got a one brain cell in his head, he is getting the fuck out of there. Do not be Mike Trout.
On the last thing, I saw a tweet from a dude that said, went to a major league GM and said, what if I offer you 11 years, $550 million for Shohei Ohtani? He said, that's kind of threw that money out there. And the guy said, you're too low.
Damn.
Holy shit.
Damn.
So it's gonna be in the 6 to 700 million.
700 million, 15 years.
Probably be like 12, 13 years, for 700 million, whatever the fuck that is.
I'll play that contract.
Christ, man.
And it's gonna be basically keys to the city type shit. Yeah. So like he gets everything he wants. Whatever fucking, if he wants free food from a restaurant, they'll work that in there forever, basically. Like he's just, I mean. So
Shohei's going to be the next Bobby Bonilla.
There was a lot of there was pretty much, except for way better.
Yeah, more talent.
Already way better. I mean, if you think about it though, he's worth $700 million because he's a starting pitcher and a DH.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's one of the best, dude. Right now, he's the best. He's probably the best he's the best left-handed hitter in baseball right now.
Yeah. And the thing that makes him so valuable is the fact that he can always be on the field. He's pitching one day and then he's DHing every other day.
He's DHing every day and he's pitching every 5 because he's a starter.
Okay.
Wait, they're
So-
still having. He's still DHing when he's pitching.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. The other day he went 8 innings, 2 hits, no earned, 11 Ks, and went 3 for 3 with 2 homers and 6 RBIs in one game.
Christ, man.
So his numbers are freaking ridiculous.
This dude is the Japanese Babe Ruth. Like
He's ahead. he is ahead of pace for Aaron Judge's season last year. He's hitting like 30 points higher in batting average. He's got the same amount of home runs, and he's got more RBIs and a higher OPS than Aaron Judge had last year. And Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs. So
A higher on base percentage?
he has a higher on base percentage. No, I don't think it's a higher on base percentage. It's higher OPS. So on base plus slugging, because he slugs the fuck out of the ball. He just hits it fucking hard everywhere. And like, so he's ahead of pace, but also Judge turned it on about after the All-Star break. Judge started to fucking really roll. So I don't think he's going to hit 62 home runs, but he's going to hit 50, maybe 60 home runs. He's going to have 140 RBIs. He's going to hit 310. And he's going to win
15 games at least.
He's going to win. He's going to go 15-4 with like a 2.84 ERA and strike out 200 guys. That's 2 players, guys. That's worth it. That's worth it, because if you pay the best left-handed hitter $400 million and you pay the best fucking starting pitcher, right-handed pitcher, $300 million, there's your $700 million. He plays every day. Just one guy.
Look real good in orange and blue, Dan. He's going to look real.
You get an extra roster spot. You're paying for an extra roster spot because he's 2 parts of your roster that only takes up 1 spot.
So for that amount of money takes a lot of teams out of the running for him. Like, it really brings it down to about 4 or 5 teams that could pay that kind of money for him.
Yeah, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Mets,
Astros.
the Dodgers, the Astros, and that's about it.
Yeah,
that's probably it. So he's going to be in one of the big markets. He's going to be in LA. He's going to be in New York. He's going to be in possibly Houston. I don't see that happening.
In my wildest dreams, as much as
man.
I love to sit here and say he's going to look great in orange and blue, I would literally shit a brick if we actually got him, just because the Astros don't sign contras like that. Crane doesn't sign more than 5-year deals. He doesn't.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. Whoever it is going to have to get a lot of payroll.
I'm sorry. Well, me and Dan will keep talking baseball this whole time. We better shut up.
All right, you guys, let's get on out of here for tonight. Real quick, I want to say thank you to everybody for coming out to the show tonight. We do appreciate it.
Happy birthday, Will.
Thank you. And for Dan, for Jose, and myself, don't forget to catch us, Sports Report Fight Night, Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Don't forget to check us out. And if there's not enough from you guys, thank you for joining us.
I
See you again. We'll see you
still
again on
fucking
Monday.
love this hat, man. Still love this hat.
Oh, God. We'll see you guys again next Monday night. Have a good one.
Will, stop pressing buttons.
Fucking love the Blue Jays.